Welcome to 11th edition of 6sight.
And the big thing that everybody's talking about a lot is Litro. This is something that's been in the works for more than 10 years, but we first had a demonstration at 6sight of a prototype of this type of camera. It's now something that's a consumer camera you can get for a few $100s, and that shows the way that innovation marches on. It's something that comes out in a lab from a big university, and then is an expensive prototype that people say no one will be able to use, and then a few years later something you can put in your pocket and take a whole new type of picture with.
Because I truly think that one of the biggest issues we have is actually motivating the consumer to do something with output.
Right.
I was fascinated to listen to the mobile imaging ecosystem panel a few minutes ago, and here we're talking about ecosystem, and yet the topic of printing some of those images never came up.
Nope.
And that is truly part of the ecosystem. So how do we actually get there? How do we get the consumer to move forward on that? Some of it is coming up with compelling new products. So the slide you're showing here about reimagining the print, basically taking those images and putting them on different substrates, yeah, that will be appealing and that will be compelling to some people. But I think actually the key issue is how do we motivate them to print? And one of the reasons, one of the things I think we need to think about is to go back to why they actually take pictures in the first place.
And one of the things I talk about at length in the book is why the United States should be focusing on innovation. It's just not about growth. It's about the fact that that is what we do. We have every internet company in the world started here of any significance, whether it's Amazon or eBay or Facebook or Google or Twitter or Yahoo. They're American companies. We have the major chip companies. We have the motion picture and music companies. We have the medical companies, the bio companies. Anything having to do with creativity, we're good at it because it's our culture. You know, when I hear a lot of presentations in this space, what I hear about is technical aspects. I don't hear about the experience. And consumers don't buy the technical aspects or a lot of the things we talk about in the way we measure ourselves. They buy the experience. They buy the ability to convey emotion. They buy the ability to do something very easily if you could let them do it and they could buy it. A lot of people are always looking for gifts for people, and gifts are all about emotion. And emotion is what photography is about. It's not about the technical aspects as much as we like to think it is.
Everybody seems to agree, well, maybe not, as we'll find out, that standalone DSCs can no longer afford to stand alone. Point-and-shoot consumer cameras in particular must get connected to survive the pressure from camera phones.
Until we have a true connected camera, you know, we're not going to see some of the benefits that come away from that, where I think the ecosystem is going to evolve more quickly when we do. So to Mike's point, I think it'll be a nice to have. Eventually we'll get our first couple really wireless WAN connected cameras in the market as a SKU in somebody's roadmap. There'll be a point and shoot, there'll be a rugged outdoor camera, and there'll be the connected camera, right? And then we'll see how those work out, and then I think that will determine how those grow into the rest of the lines of those product lines. So I think we're gonna get the first couple out there, and that's what we're trying to do, is get the model right, the business model, the technology right, so that we can get this working and get it into the consumer's hands.
In my experience, face recognition works well if you're in hundreds of faces, hundreds of people. If it's more than like thousands of people, then it breaks down. But I think it's okay because, for example, in Facebook, the average number of friends of a person is about 150. So I'm imagining in the very near future, when you buy a camera and start configuring it, setting the date and whatnot, you'll actually log into your Facebook as well. So when you take a picture, it's highly likely that you're taking a picture of your friends and family. So when you take a picture, automatically the camera will know who you are taking a picture of. So I'm imagining when you take a picture, that photo, a copy of that photo will be sent to those people. And there may be even mechanisms where if I want to opt out of any photo, meaning I don't want to be in any other people's photographs, it will automatically blur me out so that I won't be visible.
I'll say the capture device of the future to me, I mean, it's the things that we've talked about over the last 2 days, but it's the connectivity and the social links, the ability so that every photo that you're taking is providing additional information to the user and becomes a form of input where you can interact with the world. So it's augmented reality, but in addition, it's just appending all the metadata to the image based on that image's content. I haven't
In our final seconds, will that happen soon? Will we see that device? Do you think it's coming quickly or many years away?
We're working hard on it, and we haven't spoken with a handset manufacturer or a device manufacturer that doesn't share the vision, so I think we're on the right track.
Well, you've heard a lot of things about the different aspects of the market, and what we thought we would do to wrap it up with this session is the big question: how to make money, how to get some revenue generated going forward.
What you're looking at here in this chart is just Q4 of 2011 and 2010. I'm calling that out because typically cameras had been the bright, shiny object that everybody wanted for the holidays, and that it seemed to be largely taken up by the popularity of tablets and smartphones over the holiday season. And you can definitely see, as a percentage of all revenue together, e-readers, smartphones, tablets went from, what, 13% to 21% of revenue. So again, is that glass half full or glass half empty? Because you have more screens to be viewing and sharing and ordering prints from your images, as much as cameras did decline, particularly over the holidays.
So I think the topic of this year is that the Japanese imaging industry can get back to track, to innovation, to power, to investment. I think this is a major concern for this year from my perspective.